We are, and
Yep.
it looks like we are off and running. Looks like
Yep.
both of them are on the same seed, so that's a good start.
We are off. Yes, they're both in sync. Seems to be neck and neck right now. Wow. 2 in a row. Let's see if they could make their way to find something first. Basically, what they're going to be looking for is some type of usable items, either the candle or the sword. That's definitely one of the first things you want to look for in a randomizer race. And as you see right there, they're doing some screen scrolling glitches, which will skip you over to the other side if you're new to Zelda Randomizer or any of the glitches.
Yeah, but I do want to point out real quick that in this screen with the little bridge here, J-Lo did get sniped by a Zolas. That's going to put him at a little bit of a disadvantage already as he makes his way and finds a potion shop by the river to the west of Start.
That's definitely something to take down on your map if you're playing. You always want to keep those in check for level 9, which is always the the deciding factor of who's really going to win. It always comes down to level 9.
Speaking of deciding factors here, with these any roads that Caracarn just found come out, that's going to be a huge thing, because if they're well spread out, you have one fairly close to Start that's going to be able to help out. And so far, this is a decent set of any roads. However, getting blocked here on this one as he ends up over by the grave. Now, interesting thing to note here is that even though that staircase is technically power bracelet blocked, that mechanic works the same way as the diamond staircases do in dungeons, so you can clip back into it because the staircase has appeared. It's just a little bit more difficult than the normal one, especially hard to do when you don't have a sword to buffer it.
Yep. And a buffer is just a way of actually knowing the pixels where you can actually guess where you are to actually properly clip.
J-Lo running into the same problem that Caracarn did over in the graveyard, and also running into the same problem he did with the fact of he died over in the graveyard. So, they're keeping similarities so far.
Yeah, they're definitely going the same kind of route, which, you know, every streamer and runner has their set routes. In the randomizer, you never know where to go, but typically you want to keep it kind of similar.
Now, I don't necessarily run this myself, but I tend to be of the school of thought that you want to eliminate the Armos items that you can get too close to first, just because Armos is going to have a free item. Speaking of free items, over in the far southeast, or far southwest, you just saw Caracarn debating whether he wanted to pick up a candle or a heart. Now, the reason he's debating there is because the white sword is anywhere between 4 and 6 hearts, and the earlier hearts, you have a chance to pick it up. But I 100% agree with him picking the candle here because it gives him a chance to start burning things, and he has the potential to find even more stuff like this bonus cave he just found with another heart.
Yeah, I perfectly agree with you. Any item that's able to, you know, expand your abilities to find more dungeons is definitely worth taking over any early heart in the game. So you can see here, yes, he definitely took the second heart that he stumbled across, which is going to give him obviously more health power. And so he already had the candle, so there was no question there what he was going to take.
All right, so as we just getting our time synced here, I want to point out the fact that those are some extremely expensive bombs, but Caracarn opting to pay the nearly double price for the explosive just so he has the option of bombing enemies and or bombing walls if he has a chance to. And he's going to be put to the chance right now as he finds a dungeon in around Candle Row, and it looks like he's going to be in level 3. set. You see ropes in that room, which means this is going to be the quote-unquote easy enemy set. And what I mean by that is there are 3 enemy sets throughout the game that you're going to see in dungeons. There is the Gorilla enemy set, the Darknut enemy set, and the Wizrobe enemy set. These runners are hoping and praying that they get the most Gorillas, then Darknuts, and then finally as little Wizrobes as possible.
Yeah, the Wizrobes could definitely end a run, or at least prolong your run and set you back quite a bit. If you're not properly equipped to handle them. Alright, so J-Lo found the Master Sword. You can't actually get that, and I believe it's from, I believe, what's 10 to 14 hearts, and it's randomized between that parameters.
Correct, and actually, taking a look now up at the dungeon at Caracarn, and that is not level 3, that is in fact level 2. And I approve of the item J-Lo just acquired. The Armos item here in this seed is Lord Banana, and we all know how I feel about him.
Yeah, it's definitely the most crucial item to have in any type of event.
Well, it's only appropriate that the Gorilla gets the boomerang. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
And also, we did find the item there in level 2. It was the recorder. So that is going to allow him to search the one space that requires the recorder, vanilla level 7. And also, if he gets Triforce, is fast travel between dungeons.
Wow, the struggles that these both are going through right now. Having low hearts and the enemies seem to be hitting a little bit harder than usual.
Not to mention having Lionels on the screen you're trying to bomb, but hey, bombing there does give us at least access to another level here and another good set of enemies. We've got another Gorilla set. Now you see Caracarn there opting to go to the left and then back to the screen that 4 was on. And the reason he's doing that is to be able to get a free unlock of this door without utilizing a key. And that's a trick that you see used in the any percent runs of the game for vanilla level 1, but the same thing works on any of the dungeons here. So because the game thinks you're entering the dungeon from the same screen on the overworld, it allows you to use that trick to either open up bombable walls or open up key doors.
It is definitely not either one of these guys' days. So yeah, it's still really early to tell. You know, they're still searching for at least a good dungeon to enter into, you know, to figure out a better route they're going to take to go ahead and continue the race.
I don't agree with the call J-Lo just made there. He found a bonus cave up where the potion shop usually is in the northeast, or the letter cave, excuse me, and he thought about taking the candle, and at the last minute opted to take the heart. Considering he has no weapons at all, save for Lord Banana, I don't agree with that call. I can understand the reasons behind it, because if you find a white sword, you have a chance to get it, but I still say taking the candle there is the right one. both runners now are finding more money, so it doesn't look like money is going to be a huge thing in this seed right now. But I definitely have to give the advantage currently where we're standing to Caracarn here, just because he's got bombs, keys, he picked up the candle, and he's also 15 rupees away from being able to purchase a blue ring. Blue ring being 240 rupees. Definitely something to look into. It's 10 rupees cheaper than what you normally see in the vanilla game.
Yep. Yeah. The normal is 250, I believe, right?
Correct.
So everyone loves a good savings. Can't complain about that. But we have seen it fluctuate over time. And depending on the seed, it could be any value. I don't know the actual minimum value that it could be.
Value
what is the lowest you've seen?
It's plus or minus 20 rupees on the value of everything.
All right, well, that answers that.
We do, in fact, have a sword sighting. JLo has found the sword. It is at vanilla level 1. Now, that's interesting because Caracarn was going there initially, but got sniped by the blue Lionel, so that's a huge find for JLo.
Yeah, that is definitely crucial to continue on. Candle helps a lot, but you definitely need a sword.
And now I'm torn because both runners picked up Lord Banana under the Armos. Now I don't have anyone to biasly cheer for. What do I do?
I think you gotta go with JLo for being the first one to find it, if you're gonna have to choose.
JLo is also using the Gorilla Sprite, which, you know, it's appropriate.
He has double props now. There you go. But it's still coming down to it. It's pretty neck to neck still. There's still no deciding factor as to what's going on right now. We're still exploring the whole entire map, trying to figure out. Oh, looks like JLo has took a spill again. This definitely seems like a crazy seed. A lot of deaths. Anyone have a death counter going on in the chat?
No, but that's why the game counts for us, so we don't have to.
Yeah, that is true. We could definitely see them when they go and reload their save.
Yeah, I am getting the impression here, and A-Double in the chat is absolutely correct, that Caracarn is just walking around almost like he doesn't care if he gets the sword, because he is doing all kinds of exploration, and getting this exploration done early is definitely a huge boon, because knowing where you have to go is great. Again, the only problem is he doesn't have a whole lot of ways to kill enemies right now, and the Tektites have plenty of ways to kill him.
Yeah, if only he actually was able to go through those Lionels to get to the sword. Hopefully he tries to go back, track, and try to actually explore that. And it looks like he might be making his way. No, he could definitely need a refresher to get back there. And, you know, but it's a randomizer. You never know where anything is, so you can never be too sure.
JLo finally opting to pick up the candle here. I think he should have done that a long time ago when he found the first one, but now he is going to be able to start burning all of these bushes.
It's definitely going to expand his possibilities throughout the whole map. So he's ventured pretty far along the whole map. So it's going to be interesting to see where having the candle is actually going to bring him.
Yeah, this is looking interesting because normally, at least considering the amount of exploration we've seen so far, you would expect to see more than just 2 dungeons.
Yeah, I believe it's... yeah, no one has actually ventured really deep into any of the dungeons that they have unmasked. So yeah, no, it's still interesting to see where the seed is going to lead everything. And there's a lot of free rupees being handed out. This is probably the craziest seed. Most of the time, it's always gambling and or they're taking all your money from you. So a lot of money in rupees up front, so which is also pretty good because they could get a lot of the items up where they could buy, and that will definitely last them a long time in the game.
Absolutely, and the things that you're going to be looking to buy here with rupees, there's the potential to buy hints if you want to. We saw CaracarnVi buy one of those earlier. The blue ring, of course, is always an option. Wooden arrows are potentially, you might need them. You could buy a Goma block. You could buy bait if you need that. There's also buying bombs, as we have seen. So rupees are one of those things where it depends on how well you want to use them. And Caracarn looks like he's going to buy some hints here, and he's going to get another troll hint.
Of course. Damn you, Fred!
Ooh, that is a huge hint, though, that we have found. I'm not going to say a huge hint, but we did get a hint that telling us the silver arrows are ladder block, because that's what step over the water means. So that does mean that they are either in levels, they cannot be in levels 1, 2, or 3, because there are no ladder blocks in those levels. So that means the silver arrows are either in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or they are potentially the item on the coast, which we have not seen yet.
Yep, no one has ventured that way. Came close.
Caracarn was setting up for a screen scroll up there, but opted to just abandon ship when he kept getting hit by the levers. And I do want to point out real quick, over in level 2 on JLo's side, you see these links with boomerangs. How the reason that is thing is because JLo is playing as the Link sprite, or the Gorilla sprite. The Link sprite had to go somewhere, so it takes the place of Gorilla. So now we're going to see red and blue links every time we see Gorillas over on JLo's side.
Yep, which is actually really funny to see him take the turn to the dark side.
We could have some decent progress being made from Caracarn here. Looks like he's in level 1, where vanilla level 5 is located.
I want to say level 5, but it could also, it could also be level 1. I'm pretty sure it might be level 1.
And ooh, look at this! The Lost Hills area is all kinds of full of levels right now because we have one at Vanilla 5, and we've got another one in the waterfall. Can't tell you what one that is just by seeing that one room there. There's just no way.
Yeah, he needs to re-enter to kind of get us a better idea. But I think the waterfall might be a level 5.
The one that's at level 5, we can pretty much confirm is level 1. It looked like there was 3 doors along the bottom. The one in the waterfall was just one random room with a key door going up, so it could be any number of levels there. So there's no confirmation what the one at the waterfall is. JLo getting all kinds of lucky here with the clocks he's getting all throughout too. Every time I look over, he's got a clock in a room. Now the big question is going to be, is that luck going to remain with him when he goes and finds a Wizrobe dungeon?
Oh, you could only hope and pray for that. Yep. So another item room found for Caracarn. He's not going to opt to buy anything from there. Short of rupees to get the blue tunic. And the shield really doesn't help you too much in the randomizer, at least from a lot of the runnings I've seen or usage. I've barely ever used it.
Yeah, that's what chat was just saying, and we just saw JLo pick up the power bracelet there in too, so If someone in chat could let me know where you saw a recorder pickup, that would be lovely.
Yep. Yeah, Carnacarn found another dungeon in the ghost graveyard. Not quite sure which dungeon that was.
Yeah, there's really no way of telling with further exploration. But at this point, Caracarn is running out of places where he can search for the wooden sword, because the way it works is that the wooden sword is guaranteed to be in an open cave in Hyrule, and there are very few left. We know he's coming up to it if he goes back to level 1. Interesting. Yes, JLo does have a Triforce. He did pick up the Triforce in 2. It also looks like he's exploring level 6 right now, which is to be found to the northeast of Vanilla level 1. And another clock for JLo. This man is well, right on time.
Obviously, Carn actually finally picked up his sword, so he should make a lot of progress right now. He has explored a lot of the map, so it's going to be interesting to see where he plans his route effectively.
So, interesting thing over in level 6, we saw the first double block room that JLo entered had nothing. Then he went up and found a second one. That was Goma block. So if that room with Goma is required to go deeper in because it is a staircase, or it's the actual item in level 6, we can pretty much know that the item in level 6 will not be a bow, because the bow itself cannot be, blocked by a Goma, because you need the bow to kill it.
Yep, that is correct. And it looks like they're almost going the same route. It's definitely neck and neck right now.
And oh boy, JLo has found the compass over in 6, which is, look at that, another Gorilla dungeon. But the big thing that compass is telling us is that he's going to have to go all the way to the head of the dragon if he wants to get the Triforce here. That's something that could potentially be a hiccup, because there is always the potential for ladder blocks here in level 6.
Yeah, level 6 is definitely one of my least favorites, even in Randomizer. Vanilla Zelda level 6 is probably like the one I hate the most.
So JLo killing the coin boss here to get that. And ooh, Caracarn going back to 1, which first off, I 100% agree with that move now that he has a sword. And the first room he kills is going to get him the bow. That is huge. And look, more clocks for JLo, as the staircase from the single block room took him basically where he needed to go.
Yeah, the bow's definitely a good find, and an extra heart. So all he has left in this dungeon, I believe, is just the Triforce, correct?
No, he still has to find the second item in 1 that's going to be in the diamond staircase room. Although, unfortunately, in the way that NSU room was laid out, he couldn't.
Yeah, he was forced to take it.
He was forced to grab the Triforce there. But I also 100% agree with you going back into 1 to find the second item, because 1 is the smallest dungeon in the game. There are only 17 rooms here in it, and having 2 items, it's always good to go back and look. And at this point, because so few good items have been found here, there's also the very high potential that the second item is going to be something worthwhile. The only 2 items now that basically won't be grabbed or be disappointing to find are going to be the book, of course, and the inferior model. This is an interesting decision I'm seeing JLo make here, opting to go back into 6 to search for the item. Now, 6 is a long dungeon, but it is a Gorilla set of enemies here, so this gamble has the potential to pay off if you find something, like, say, the wand or the red ring, but also has the potential to backfire if he gets all the way up here and finds out he's ladder blocked, or it turns out to be a subpar item such as, you know, the book or the magical boomerang. So this is an interesting gamble for JLo here.
Yeah, it comes with the territory of playing any randomizers. You never really know, but yes, it is a gamble. He did also pick up the Triforce. I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
He did definitely pick up the Triforce, and now it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And making excellent use of Lord Banana here with the gels in the room now. The way the boomerangs work, both of them, is they're programmed to stun enemies. There are certain enemies that cannot be stunned. And there are also certain enemies, such as gels, which are those little dot things, and keys, which are the bats, that are programmed to have 0 HP. And any enemy with 0 HP is instantly killed by the boomerang. Now, this isn't a huge boon in the current flags that we are playing, but come the top 8, the flags are going to be a little bit different, so the boomerang is going to take on a whole new meaning. And we do finally have the item room here for JLo. It is not ladder block, so let's take a look and see what we got. Wow. That gamble for JLo, huge. Finding the red ring, so that's going to mean it's going to allow him to face tank things a little more and going to quadruple his protection.
Yeah, that's definitely a good item to find early on in the run. Caracarn seems to be doing another clipping, and he is finding the raft, which is definitely not a bad item to have. You never completely know if you need the raft in the randomizer, but it gives you those possibilities where you could actually venture out into those few dungeons and areas where you could potentially find some other items that could potentially decide if you're going to win or lose the randomizer.
We also now know from the hint that JLo just found that the red candle is also ladder block, so that also has the potential of being the coast item, as well as the fact that level 8 is going to contain the wand. Which I believe... Nope. We're in 7. Caracarn has found level 7 at the waterfall.
So we were wrong about it being level 5 or 1. We did see him complete level 1, so...
Another hint we just received is telling us that the book is ladder blocked, and again, the silver arrows, as we know, are also ladder blocked. So, all kinds of ladder hints here in this seed. And for those of you who might not know, every helpful hint that you're going to find is going to give you some sort of information. Like, for example, you're going to have Aquamentus Awaits, which means level 1. The Dongo Dwell is level 2. Basically, it's going to give you the boss of the level, and that's going to tell you either where they are if you find the hint within the dungeon, or what they have if you find the hint without the by paying for it. Or you could also get the hint that tells you what item is required or not required. So you can get the Step Over the Water, which is the ladder, Play a Melody, which is the recorder, a Feat of Strength is the Power Bracelet, Sail or Sail Not is the raft, Fire and Arrow, of course, is throw the bow.
Yep, and we saw JLo just enter another shop, opting not to buy anything due to low rupees.
And we have got our first Wizrobe dungeon of the adventure here, because we see buyers, and where there are buyers, there are Wizrobes. And this one looks like it's going to be level 3 based on positioning. And even with Wizrobes in level 3, this is a great dungeon to find and explore, because it's only 18 rooms, so for the most part, it's going to be fairly easy to navigate your way through it.
Yeah, and he has a decent amount of bombs, so if he needs to attempt to bomb through any other rooms, he's easily able to do that. And enough keys as well.
Yeah. Caracarn has found the Triforce in level 7, and he's going to grab it and opt to peace out, and I 100% agree with this. No need to delve through 7 unless you absolutely have to. There are 33 rooms in that dungeon, and can be very, very trolly at times, can eat up a lot of keys and a lot of bombs, so finding a fairly early Triforce is definitely the right, and then grabbing it and piecing out is definitely the right decision here from Caracarn. Only go back there if you have to.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Obligatory. Oh, shoot. So this is very interesting because Caracarn is in 6 right now, and the color scheme for whatever capture software he's using makes this a very, very dark color palette. So I don't know if it's just rendering for us or if it's for him as well, but it's very, very hard to see the gels on the screen on Caracarn's side.
Yeah, it's looking like that for me too as well. It's kind of curious, but that.
Now, you saw Caracarn pausing there real quick, and the reason he was pausing is because he wanted to check the mini-map in-game so he could get his bearings on his map tracker that he was using so he knew which room he was in. JLo putting the banana to good use there in this diagonal blocks room to stun the like so they are pretty easy for him to just sit there and constantly stab. Even with the red ring, likes are something you don't want to mess with, so having a way to stop them from eating you is definitely a good thing.
Yep, they could definitely kill up a lot of your time in the run.
Caracarn also opting out of level 6 here, and another decision I can understand why. We know, of course, that by going back in he would find a red ring, but I can't disagree with his logic right now, knowing that 6 could potentially be ladder blocked. He doesn't need to go back in there unless, of course, he absolutely has to at the end of the game. Caracarn now back into making his way up. He does have the compass to know the Triforces, but 2 is one of those levels, like level 1, if you get the Triforce before you get the item, you're going to go back in and find the item, just because 2 is another fairly short dungeon.
JLo also battling with more Wizrobes.
Yeah, now, the unfortunate thing for JLo is there's only 18 rooms in 3. He did find the Triforce there, but the one thing he has not found yet is the item, because The item is a corridor staircase, like the one you saw him get the red ring out of in 6. So you can't bomb into the left, or from the left, into that room. Now, unfortunately, that means he's going to have to go back in and go all the way around, because there's only one room he hasn't checked yet, and that's going to be the room that has the staircase he's going to need. Now, Caracarn here is going back through and bombing a bunch of everything here in level 2. And best I can surmise is he is attempting to try and find keys, because 2 is going to be a great find for keys. Also did find the heart, which could be the other thing he was looking for there. And I don't blame him at all for that, because the way this seed has been, it's crazy. And ew, that's a horrible item to find in level 3, the inferior model.
I am at a loss of words right now.
Not a problem, not a problem. 7 rupees, I almost said coins here. This isn't Mario, this is Zelda. 7 rupees as the small secret. It's meh. You know, no big deal. But it's, again, better than a sharp stick in the eye, which that's really all a wooden sword is a sharp stick. Caracarn now going to be the first one of our runners to make their way down to the coast, which is interesting because now we're finally going to get the chance to see what the ladder item on the coast has the potential of being. Also of note, Caracarn with 231 of the requisite 240 rupees for him to get the blue ring. Now we know that he's probably not going to get the red ring because it's at 6. He already got the Triforce and Nope out of it. Unfortunately, finds a door repair.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. So close to being able to purchase his blue tunic.
Yeah, now this is interesting because Jayla was just up in the northeast and opted to go through the Lost Hills and check the waterfall before checking anything else. He's going to get the quick Triforce out of 7, which is fine, but it's very interesting that he chose to go here first and not to vanilla level 5.
Yep, so Caracarn's coming up around the corner to find what we're going to see along the riverbed.
That is a huge, huge find. He now knows he made the right decision noping out of both 7 and 6 because we have found these silver arrows as the ladder item. That's huge.
Definitely huge. So when he's ready, he's going to trail back there and grab that and make his way to 9 when he's ready.
Oh, speaking of level 9, we just found it. 9 is raft blocks. So this is a raft required seed.
This seed is... I'm just glad I'm not playing this, because it's nothing but just thing after another.
Also, speaking of WoW, J-Lo opting to go back into the level 7 to search for the item. He's now going to have to realize where he is as the staircase took him all the way to the tip of the nose of the demon. So this is also very interesting. Now, he did get all of those hints, of course, that things were being ladder blocked, but this is a very gutsy move. I mean, he's already made 1 with going into 7. I mean, back into 6. He got the red ring out of it, but I don't necessarily agree with coming out of 7 here. I mean, he doesn't have the ladder, so if he comes across something that is ladder blocked, he's not going to be able to get around to it. This is a bold move from J-Lo.
Very, very bold, very bold.
Caracarn now coming across level 3, so he's going to be disappointed to find Wizrobes and the inferior model here.
J-Lo battling some Dodongos. A little bit of struggle there, and he opts not to kill them all.
Yeah, this is. I'm still baffled by his decision to go back here into 7. Now, especially because he knew what it was ahead of time, but found the map as well. So this is, again, something I'm going to want to ask him about when we get to the point, when we get to the interview portion of this a little bit later. I would imagine it's because he found the hint about all those step over, step over, step over, step over. But this is willingly going into 7 before you going back into 7 to find an item because you don't know what's in there. After you found the Triforce, it's risky.
Definitely a little ballsy and risky, of course, and especially being about 40 minutes into the run. You should be more than... he's about almost halfway into it. Typically, he's kind of on par, so maybe that's why he feels like he's willing to risk a little bit of the time to try to venture into it and figure out what else is in here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's pot committed himself to exploring 7, so he's going to go and grab it. And the only item at this point he's probably not going to grab here is going to be the book. Also, with item grabs, we see a bomb upgrade being obtained by Caracarn, and it is going to be the best bomb upgrade we can get, the 6 bomb upgrade now. Normally in vanilla Zelda, you would pay 100 rupees for 4 bombs. Here in the randomizer, you can pay a whole lot more or a whole lot less, and you can get a whole lot more or a whole lot less. It's going to be anywhere between 2 and 6 bombs you can get for each upgrade.
And that's the beauty of playing in the randomizer. It's always something new and fresh and exciting. You never know what you're going to get yourself into. But it could also be a huge downfall as well. So he's opting to not take the Triforce. He's going to venture out and actually look for the other item in the dungeon before he collects the Triforce, which is exactly what you want to do. You don't want to take the Triforce and go back all the way to the beginning of the level before exploring as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, and with 3 only having 18 rooms, it's the absolute correct call, especially not knowing what the item that is going to be in the dungeon is. We know, of course, it's all going to be a fruitless exploration because it's going to be the inferior model boomerang, but with Caracarn not knowing, it's the absolute correct call to go through and take a look.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, you need to really fully explore to the maximum of your ability that you have working with you here. So it's definitely the right call. We know it's kind of worthless, but at the same time, you never know what you're going to encompass in any randomizer seed. Opting to not take the banana. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
It's the correct choice to not pick that banana.
Does it hurt you deep down inside a little bit? I think it's paining you a little bit.
No, not at all, not at all. They both have Lord Banana. It would have pained me if they picked up the inferior model. So the item room that would have been in level 7, Z-Man, he was looking for the reverse C item room in 7. Level 7 has 3 staircases, 2 diamond stairs, and a reverse C. And because the 2 diamond stairs took him were the actual staircases themselves, he was actually looking for the reverse C room in 7. Speaking of J-Lo, he has now found his way to level 4.
And also, so many pause timers. We need to go back and actually count how many he's had this whole run. I've never seen so many timers in my life. This is one hell of a crazy seed.
Yeah, the level of clock right here is ridiculous. Unfortunately for Caracarn, because of the way he did things, he does have to go back and kill the Wizrobes a second time in the reverse C room in 3. Now, this room, of course, doesn't have a staircase, but does have a drop, which we know is the Triforce.
Yep, and taking it. So, if we are still kind of neck and neck about the whole race right now, it's going to be really interesting to see how everything pans out.
Yeah, but from a purely item perspective, Caracarn is by far in the lead. He having both the bow and the raft that he found from level 1.
Yep, still needs the ladder to get the arrows, but at least he knows where they are, which is a huge, huge advantage.
Yep. The other thing that we're looking for is we're still on the hunt for 2 dungeons. We haven't found levels 8 or level 5 yet, so it's going to be interesting to see where they are.
Excellent. Carnacarn actually found another potion place where he could actually mark on his map, and hopefully takes advantage of that before he goes into level 9 if he actually needs it.
Right, there is a level over in the graveyard section, but because we don't know which one it is, I can't say we found level 8 or we found level 5 because we don't know which one it is. Yes, we found an entrance, but...
True, they did not explore anything further. I believe it was Carnacarn that actually discovered it first, and I don't believe JLo has discovered it yet. So, well, once they make their way back to that, and I believe Carnacarn is actually probably going to make his way back over there, so we will find out shortly.
Oh, so that is a very interesting hint that Caracarn just found. The old man has a white sword by a lake. Now, there's only so many lake spots that we can find. One of them, of course, being the lake that is where level 7 usually is in the vanilla game. If that is the case, that means the white sword is going to be recorder blocking because we don't have the recorder currently. None of our runners are going to be able to get it.
Yep, and we have not found out what the recorder is. I believe that we said that they did find it earlier, but I think that was clearly a mistake, correct?
Correct. What we determined it was is the item spawned on top of it. It was a key, and looking quickly, a key and the recorder can look the same. Now, the 2 big lake spots that we can find are going to be the one that is, of course, vanilla level 7 or vanilla level 4. Those are both considered by a lake. As is the waterfall, above the waterfall up in the level 5 area. There's a bunch of bio lake spots, but those 2 are the big ones that we haven't.
Yeah, the major ones. Yep.
So we're going to stay out the 4 right now on Caracarn's side, which I 100% agree with, because, hey, if you don't find the white sword here, you're pretty much guaranteed to know where it is.
Yeah, you're really going to narrow down the actual areas to where it is.
And there it is. White sword is raft block. So the raft is actually a fairly huge item here in this seed, not only because it's going to get you the white sword, but also because it's going to get you to level 9. So this is the most important I've seen a raft in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not very common in a lot of seeds. So it's crucial that Carnacarn actually has the raft and then the hint to find the silver arrows. That is huge for him, structuring his route of how he's going to play this rest of it out.
Yeah, interesting note over on JLo's side, he found a shop and opted to purchase both the wooden arrows and the bait. So that's a very interesting choice for him. I agree with both of them because he doesn't need to purchase a blue ring. He's going to find that he may or may not have had a moot point purchase because he's going to find the silver arrows on the coast right now. The old man with the letter is giving us the information that great power is said to lie in the book. Unfortunately, that is technically a true statement in the new version of Randomizer because there is a new option. I don't know if you've heard about it or played with it, but there's a new option in the latest version of Randomizer. We're, of course, not playing with it here, but that option is called Boomstick. And what that does is it turns the wand and book combination away from the bad candle and into actual bombs. So when that magic spell hits, it explodes.
Yep. So so we see Carnacarn back actually in the graveyard. Not 100%. I'm knowing.
Yep, you can tell this is level 5 because level 5 only has 2 of the little entrance blocks there on the bottom row, and it's gonna have the up here, the go up section in this far right location. So that's how you can tell. 5 is usually one of the easier ones to tell. It's usually like 7, 2, 3. Those tend to be the ones you get confused based on starting point. 5 is usually fairly easy.
Yeah, I got a little taken back by it. It was just a little confusing to me, but okay. So yeah, it's okay.
So getting an old man room with a bunch of numbers. Now, if I'm correct, those numbers are the numbers from the show Lost. I never actually watched it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Lost either. So it could possibly be. We're gonna have to talk it up with Fred after this, right?
Absolutely. This room, unfortunately, is going to be a pain here because Caracarn doesn't have arrows, and he is locked in. So he's going to have to stab the bunnies, because bunnies still can be stabbed with a sword.
They do take a long time. They have a lot of hit points. So he could be stuck here for quite a while, and then being short and not having the red tunic could definitely hurt him in this situation.
Yeah, so we're going to have an interesting dichotomy here as J-Lo enters into 5 as well, because Caracarn has the bow, doesn't have arrows. J-Lo has arrows, doesn't have the bow.
It is definitely the struggles of the century right now going on.
Caracarn getting the clock there, as most of the bunnies were already dead, so not nearly as amazing of clock luck as J-Lo has, but he is going to be rewarded with the compass, which is going to tell him where the heart container, the Triforce is. He's grabbing the heart container in the tea room, which is also nice. He entered from that side. Without having the ladder, he, of course, can't clip.
Yeah, without the ladder, you're pretty much stuck in a lot of these areas. So if in the event of any other dungeons that we haven't seen that are ladder locked, so he definitely needs to make his way and hopefully pray that like level 9 is not ladder locked at all.
Yeah, now this could be one of those rare seeds where the ladder isn't necessarily required. Well, actually, no, it is required because the silver arrows are ladder blocks. So the ladder is going to be required before you even get anywhere close to that.
So yeah, so this is one of those damn seeds where you don't want to be in, but it is what it is, and you got to take it, full to the face.
Yeah, it's definitely got the feeling of one of those trolley seeds, but let's see what this diamond staircase room gives for Caracarn. Gives him another staircase. So unfortunately, Caracarn opting to not take the staircase, so we don't know what he's looking for. Hopefully the staircase isn't just a troll staircase that brings him one room above, and it is not, and we have got the recorder, so now we can 100% say that Caracarn does have the recorder. It was the item in level 5.
Yep, level 5. So now he can make his way back and actually go through these other areas where potentially could bring up other items. But everything is pretty much panning out to where I think they see the final route of where they have to go. And I think, this is really going to take it up to the next step where they're going to figure out the remaining of the race. That is definitely one of the most painful things, to be not being able to hit the Dark Nuts, being one step away. If he had his ladder, he could have reached them into that area. Caracarn coming out clean with everything, being able to progress through the level, that's, it's awesome to see.
Yeah, Z-Man, to answer your question, the ladder in 7 and 8 is looking much, much more likely because so far for the item summary, for those who are wondering, the bow and raft were in level 1, the power bracelet was in level 2, the inferior model was level 3, we haven't explored a lot of level 4, so we don't know what's there. The recorder was in level 5, the red ring was in level 6, we don't know what's in level 7. We know from a hint that the wand is one of the items in level 8, the Armos item was Lord Banana, the coast item is the silver arrows. The 5 items that are remaining are the heart container, the red candle, the book, the ladder, and the magical key.
So yep, still yet to be found. So making our way, we're definitely progressing through this scene, and it's definitely the scene of the ages. It has everything encompassing what you want in a randomizer. It's taking everything from all aspects of everything. So I gotta always acknowledge Fred and the tremendous work that he put into making this program work the way it does, because it's every time you play it, it's just something new and refreshing. You never know what you're going to get yourself into, and it's always gratifying when you get to that spot and you don't know what the hell's going on, and then you quickly realize, okay, this is what I have to do, and then you jump into it. Always a good step forward.
Caracarn now making his way up through Death Mountain, which is definitely the correct call here because we're still missing level 8. And with all of Death Mountain left to explore, there's a very high probability that it's going to be here. Of course, if it's not, then there's also the probability it's underneath the lake. And, you know, we have one of those seeds where the ladder is recorder blocked and 9 is wrath blocked. And
basically everything is just vanilla blocked, so you required all the elements of it. But that's also the beauty of the randomizer, is that you don't need necessarily everything in every seed. So when you get into these situations, and it does feel very unfortunate when you're like, oh crap, I gotta have all these items and you don't know where they are, but at the same time there's this refreshing feeling at the same time, like when you know that you're skipping a bunch of the steps to make your way all the way to the end, and then you save the princess.
Yeah, so interesting here. J-Lo going to take the Triforce out of 5 and run, opting to not go back in to search for the item. He, of course, knows it's the recorder. Now, at this current moment, it's a good idea because there's only one technical spot that the recorder is going to help him get into, and we haven't seen any locations inside dungeons that have been Dig Dogger blocked. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good decision in the end, but right now, I agree with it just because it's one of those things where not having a ladder makes traversing 5 very difficult.
Yeah, it seems like that's pretty much the only kind of block and everything. But at this point, almost 100% of the map has been explored, and we're really coming down to the nits and grits of it all.
Yeah, Caracarn's got, I believe, 4 more Death Mountain locations left to explore, and if he doesn't find anything here, it's going to be a full overworld clear, as he's going to have to make his way back down to find that level 8 would be, in fact, underneath the lake. Another noteworthy thing to take a look at is we don't have a good key situation on either side. That could be remedied depending on what they find. And, ooh, we found another bonus cave for J-Lo.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where possibly the Almighty Master Key might be for where anywhere in this world it could be. Any ideas?
It's looking more and more like it's going to be in level 9, perhaps, because we got a bunch of step-over hints. And we know that, I'm pretty sure 4 is ladder blocked at this point. And so if 4 is ladder blocked, the ladder is obviously not there, which means the ladder is either in 7 or 8. So the potential, if 4 is ladder blocked, then it more than likely means it's going to have either the book or the red candle, with the other one probably being in the other dungeon, or in 9. So it's a fairly good chance at this point that it's going to be in level 9. There is about a 25% chance right now that it's a 9, but my gut tells me it's something more.
The gut always tells you something you don't want to ever hear, but yes, I completely agree with you.
Oh, that's right. We forgot. There's still a couple of power bracelet spots left to check as well. At least this one here. So let's take a look, see what we find at the forest power bracelet. And there's level 8. Okay, so it's not recorder blocked. It is power bracelet blocked.
Yep. There we go. Oh, that is very interesting thing. It's actually the same color scheme as level 8 too, which is From my experience, a little unusual for a lot of the randomized races.
Well, some things weren't the way it's supposed to be. We all know what that means. Fred?
Fred? What are you doing to us? Come on, buddy. This is... this whole seed has been nothing but just, you know... I love every minute of it. That's the greatest thing you can take from everything that we see tonight. It's always... You can't blame them. You can love them and hate them at the same time. Thank you, Fred. That's all I gotta say. A lot of respect for you.
Yeah, so we did find the first of the two items in 8. Caracarn found the wand. We, of course, knew that was in there because of the hint that J-Lo had found earlier. So that's not the one we were wanting to see, because we want to know what the other item in in level 8 is. Now, of note, because it was a diamond staircase he found, that still is going to leave us with another diamond staircase, a spiral staircase, and a corridor staircase that are all going to contain possible items. And speaking of the corridor staircase, we have found it here in level 8. So let's see if this is going to be the second item, or if it's going to lead us to the another part of the dungeon.
Yep. I always like to find the magic wand early on, because I feel like it gives you a complete advantage over the whole situation. I mean, if you don't have a candle, you don't have a sword, and you can find the wand, that's always going to complement those weapons. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I actually called the one race here in the tournament that was the swordless seed for 55 minutes. The only reason they had to pick up a sword was because you needed to destroy Ganon.
All they had was the wand. Yeah. See, if you're in those situations, you know, you're dealt what you're dealt in these seeds, and this is, I mean, it's all coming full circle at this point right now. So we're all getting the full encapsulation of everything that we see here, and we could see Caracarn is definitely making his way towards the end, a little bit ahead of J-Lo, I think, in this situation. But you never know. You got the equalizer level 9. So this always comes down to the last level. I mean, it's still, to me, it feels that it's still neck and neck, even though Caracarn has one more Triforce. You never know. You never know.
True, but the big advantage that Caracarn has is the extra Triforce that he's got is the one from level 1. And it's not necessarily the Triforce there, but it's the two items he found. The bow, which is obviously required, and the raft, which is also required in this seed. So the fact that he's got the information as to where level 9 is, because he found the early raft, and he already has the bow, that gives him the huge advantage here.
Oh, without a doubt. He definitely has the huge advantage over J-Lo. So it's all really going to come down to, the actual execution of being perfection in everything else he's going to do from this point out. He already knows in his head the perfect route that he needs to take until you get to level 9, because obviously no one ever knows exactly the perfect route, but he's already building up to this where he knows exactly where he needs to go, and he's well clipping and everything, getting an extra heart. Awesome. He's perfecting everything tonight to my ability. That's not saying too much, but he's doing everything according to plan from what I see, and I love every minute of it.
This is huge. The heart container being the second item in level 8. Now, unless we can confirm that 4 is ladder blocked, which I don't remember because it was in and out so quickly, then we now have a 50% chance of the ladder being the item in level 7. The only thing Caracarn's still looking to find here in 8, of course, is the Triforce. Now, this is going to be interesting because for Caracarn, if 4 is in fact ladder blocked, then that means he's going to have to go back into either 6 or 7. Now, of course, he's going to choose to go back into level 6 first, because that's the easier of the two to go through and delve through. At least I would assume I would go through 6 first here.
Of course.
He's going to find the red ring in there, which, while not a bad thing, it's not going to be what he's going to want to find. So if that's the case, then he's going to have to delve all the way back through 7. Diving through 7 is going to give J-Lo a chance to come back. The other thing that we know, though, is that J-Lo has also attempted to dive through 7 a little bit. So when he if he inevitably has to go back there, then that means, of course, that he's going to know a slightly shorter path because he's going to have more of the rooms cleared. Now, I like this call from Caracarn here, getting a little bit roughed up there. So because he's directly near a fairy fountain, I'm going to opt to go and heal up first. And it looks like he is going to be needing the ladder to get where he's going, or he's going to go opt to try and find the ladder first. So it looks like he's going to be going to 6 here. Yep, definitely going to 6 first to take a dive through.
Yeah, definitely in this seed, you know, the ladder is definitely crucial. You know, just to get the silver arrows, and then also the raft, to have both of those in tandem to be able to proceed through this whole seed. It's, you know, you never know what you're going to get yourself into in these randomizer races, and you know, that's always the lovely part of it. You know, you could skip a lot of it, and it's always a gamble. So you never know where you're going to go, but it's always confusing as hell to figure out where you got to go. It's nice. It's nice to know that, you know, you have all these options, and then your destiny is your own destiny, which makes The Legend of Zelda, in my view, one of the greatest games that you actually have the ability to make your destiny.
So Kara making his way back through 6 here, forgetting that he had marked the staircase, opting to take a look, realizing what it was, and now he's going to be continuing to move on here. I'm not sure why he's killing these wall masters necessarily, unless he's looking for... Yeah, I don't know. JLo coming across a room in 8 that is Goma blocked, and he does, of course, have the arrows, but no bow to fire them with, so he's not going to be able to get by that room. Caracarn now has come across the item room in 6, which is going to be the red ring. So he's definitely going to grab that because you're never going to pass up a red ring. But now he has the unfortunate task of having to go and delve into level 7 to find the ladder.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he didn't take the extra time to do that in the beginning, but at the same time, you can't really blame him for doing that. Yes, there's no set rules to do whatever. You want to try to get in and out as fast as you can and try to get most of the crucial items that you have to get. But, you know, this comes with the territory. You just never know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And now we're delving back in through 7. Now, we know from JLo's delving through here that we are looking for the reverse C rope, and that's going to have to be the one that's got the item drop in. JLo now has found the compass in level 8. He is looking around to, I believe, find the second item, which we know, of course, is the heart container. In the back of his mind, JLo's got to be thinking that the ladder and bow are both going to be in level 1 because he still hasn't found it yet. And I know at this point, that's exactly what I'd be thinking, having gone through a lot of these levels. And you got to be thinking that. Just got to find one because there's 2 items there. It's going to have the bow and the ladder. And we're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. You know, if I was in that predicament, I would probably just assume the same exact thing. It's just so hard to tell, and then when you're in the heat of the moment, you never know, and you always seem to overlook things or misread things. So you can't blame the guy for, you know, relying on his intuitions about things.
Oh, absolutely not. And take a look at this room. Not using it this time, but of course, JLo finding another clock.
Of course. I think we need to give him some type of nickname. I mean, like, he's definitely Master Clock Guy over here. I mean, that's not the best wording for it, but wait till the next race, and if it happens again, come on.
I mean, we could just go all full on DC Comics and call him a Time Master.
Exactly. All right, we'll do that. He's definitely the Time Master of the Hyrule world.
But now we are continuing our dive into the depths of the demon in level 7 on Caracarn's side. And we did explore some of this with JLo, so we know it's not going to be in any of the immediate areas. This is feeling like it's going to be one of those long, winding trips.
Yeah, exactly as the chat has said. His nickname should definitely be Flavor Flav. He is the ruler of time.
I am 100% all for calling him Flavor Flav with the amount of clocks he's gotten.
All right, so that should definitely be his. And the next run he should definitely consider spending 6 or 7 hours contributing to making his own decal of a time clock.
That would be amazing.
And then you know, of course, he will never get any time clocks being a time clock. That's just the way it goes. Damn you, Fred! You know that's gonna just way it's gonna play out. But hey, you take it for what it's worth, right?
JLo has now found the second item room, which conveniently is directly to the west of the Triforce room. So he's going to now be going down here, and he's going to find the heart container. And of course, what does JLo get to help clear that room? But
yes, of course. I mean, could you put it past them?
Not at all. I expect all kinds of clocks here throughout the rest of the game. JLo's going to find a way to get a clock into Ganon's fight.
I think he's executed his movements throughout the whole map to just always drop that perfect clock. There might even be some type of like randomness to the whole thing. I don't know. We got to consult Fred and like learn the binary assembly of the Zelda ROM itself. But I'm pretty sure JLo has figured out the way to always drop a clock, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Perfectly.
Yeah. And can confirm now that the Triforce 8 is in fact bow blocked with a Goma. So that means arrows are going to be required. So Caracarn technically has the option of buying wooden arrows if he wants to. I don't necessarily agree with that because he knows what silver arrows are. He's just going to have to, of course, find himself a ladder, which he's got about 4 more rooms left to search here in level 7.
Yeah, and it's always seems to be the kind of struggle to have some type of knowledge in the game. You never know what you truly need, but is it really asking too much to reach for the stars that you always need everything? You know what I mean? So
absolutely not. But there is, based on what I can see on Caracarn's map, he's got about 5 rooms left to clear from level 7 before he's got a full clear. And one of those 5 rooms is going to be where he's going to find the item.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's in good shape. I definitely see him getting to level 9 a little ahead of JLo, but that does not mean anything because we all know level 9 is the equalizer.
Absolutely. JLo now back in the Lost Hills, and he's finally going to go up the mountain ahead here, I would assume, to check level 5. Yep, there he goes. And now he is finally going to find level 1.
Yeah, which is crucial at this point in the game. He needs to clear that. Thank God there's not too many levels in this. He could really explore level 1 quickly and effectively. He has everything that he needs to do to actually pursue that.
And oh, look at this. We're going to have to kill some gorillas here to potentially get to the room. And ooh, we have 2 rooms left. Is this going to be a complete full clear? Yes, this is going to be a complete full clear of level 7 for Caracarn. It's going to be in this last room. He's going to have to kill these blue gorillas first in the fireball room. So level 7 proving to be a gigantic troll here.
Oh, without a doubt, this is definitely. If I personally believe that Fred incorporated this specific seed to just I can't say certain words on the stream, but I think he made this.
Yeah,
he made this.
There it is. Finally getting a ladder out of a full cleared level 7. And Jay Coper, who is our wonderful tech host behind the scenes here, makes a great point in chat. Caracarn entered into the topmost room of 7, or the topmost leftmost room, and completely ignored a key. And I do agree with Jay Coper. That is a really strange move.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what you're going to encounter in this thing, so...
Caracarn looks like he mismarked his map slightly, going into the wrong place where we thought level 4 was. And now we're going to go back into level 4. Now, the only item that he can hope to find in here in 4, which would be any good at all, was going to be the magical key. And let's see what we can find here. And it's more than likely going to be the magical... Oh, it's the red candle.
Oh.
So, magical key and book confirmed to be in level 9.
Yep. So you're a little bit ahead of me, so I'm taking it all in. I am so disappointed in everything. I really thought this was going to pan out lovely, but... I mean, I guess this comes with the territory, right?
It does. However, we have a really, really quick Triforce there in 4 for Caracarn. So he's now going to make his way back to level 8, and then he'll be on his way to 9. This is a bad place to be, though. He's only got 4 keys, and he's going to be on his way to 9. So he's definitely going to be hoping and praying that his increased bomb capacity can carry him through, or that one of the staircases he comes upon is going to happen to have the magical key.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can really ask for at this point in the game. I mean, you're coming down to the end of it. There's only a few key matters that you actually care about. It's your key and your bomb count. You need to have both of those peaked, and if you don't have that, then going into level 9, you never know. Like, it's just completely absurd. So for you to go into level 9 without actually having a concrete thing of your keys or your bombs, it's almost suicidal.
Yeah, but a nice screen scroll there from Caracarn as he wraps from the coast to the magical sword cave, and 11 heart maximum magical sword. So it's either an 11 or a 10. That is a perfect. Huge find for Caracarn.
Huge. Alright, so now he's in very good shape to even try to attempt to go into level 9. I think he's feeling very confident in his ability right now. I mean, yes, he doesn't have everything, but I mean, when you have those stats, you're almost in a good aligned position to actually try to complete everything. So, and he's also picking up the extra potion. He's in a very good place. He's willing and he's ready to take on level 9 like a damn champ.
Absolutely. Of course, though, we still have to go back into level 8 and kill Goma first, but that's going to be easy.
Yes, yeah, but, well, he's already has that in his, rearview mirror. He already has that mapped out. He's willing, he's ready, he's able, he's going to hopefully capture everything. I don't want to get too excited, but I'm excited.
Yeah, hey, nothing wrong with being excited. I've overreacted several times in this tournament.
It just comes with the territory. But, this is the excitement of a randomizer, and everyone should also participate. If you haven't played a randomizer, go ahead, go on our website, download it, and just try it out. If you're anyone that's interested in actually playing this, you could be a part of the scene. So don't feel like there's just certain people that are playing this. You could be a part of it too. And that's what I really want to stress, is that everyone that you see here tonight, everyone has been participating since day one, and you could be a part of it too. So come on, enjoy the fun. This is an awesome scene to get into, and we would love to have you in it. And you could be in this situation too. You could be struggling. You could be banana champion of the world. You could be anything that you want to be. Come on in and enjoy the fun.
Not sure what J-Lo was doing there. I think he might have been looking for keys, but now he's going to be leaving level 1. He's got both the bow and the raft out of there. Now, the one thing for J-Lo is that he now can go back into 8 and kill the Gomu because he does have wooden arrows. He now also is under the realization that the ladder is in 7.
Yeah, I hate to say it that Carnacarn has the advantage, but at this point in time he does. I could only hope that Carnacarn could actually like dissociate a little bit to bring it up to J-Lo's ability to come back. And we've seen this in numerous games over the past few days. We've seen 30-minute deficits come back to win it, so you never know. You never know. And this is what the excitement of the whole tournament is. You just never know, and that's the beauty of the Zelda randomizer races.
100% agree. And the big thing to keep an eye on here in level 9 for Caracarn is his key total. So if I'm him at this point, I agree with trying to go the path of least resistance here, but if I'm him, I'm going to take the path here that requires the least amount of keys possible.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but at the same time, we playing from experience, we could only assume so much. Yes, when you go into level 9, I feel that you need at least 4 to 6 keys at the minimal. You know, I could be completely wrong, I have no idea, but if you come into it with anything less, 2, it seems very risky to me.
Yep, Caracarn now here is taking every staircase he sees. He is definitely magic key hunting when doing that. I can confirm I've got his sound up right now so I can try and hear Ganon rumbles for you guys. But he is confirmed on his stream that he is in fact magic key hunting, hoping and praying that his key count doesn't come back to haunt him here.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're really coming down to it. This is all accumulating towards the end goal, which we're all striving to see. So, what we want to see here is just perfect execution, and we just pray for the best. I mean, like, what else could you really ask for at this point? At this point, it's really coming down to the end of it.
Yeah. And we've got our first Patra of the game here, and Caracarn is more than likely going to try killing this thing once we can see what's underneath this potential staircase here in number 2. So if there's a staircase, he can either take it or not have to use a key.
Exactly. Unlike last night, where we've seen, how many was it? 8? No, I don't think it was 8, but it was at the maximum level of Patras.
There are 5 Patras that are in level 8, and all 5 of them were either guarding Ganon or Zelda in the race you were having to see. Now, the reason you saw him exit and re-enter that Patra room is because Patra's sound actually masks Ganon's sound, so he was going back into the Patra room to see if he could hear Ganon. Now, that old man hint did give him a very good bit of information. The kidnapped awaits in the northwest of Skull. Kidnapped, of course, in this case being Zelda. If that is the case, then, we now know that the northwest part of the Skull is where we're going to have to look. Now, what we mean by the northwest is basically if you take the Skull map of level 9 and basically cut it directly down the middle and going vertically and horizontally, you're going to have your 4 sections. So basically the northwest is going to be that section, obviously in the northwest. Basically it's going to encompass everything that's going to be on that same level as the eye on the left-hand side of the skull and everything in that general area.
Mm-hmm.
Use your potion, Caracarn. There we go.
Yeah.
J-Lo, meanwhile, back in level 7, getting himself all confused. Random effect. The answer to your question as to why the level 9 music is not playing on CaracarnVi's side is because he's opted to use the turned music off option that the randomizer allows. It doesn't affect gameplay in any way, it is simply an aesthetic choice, and oh, what a find for Caracarn! The magic key being guarded by Patra! That is gigantic!
You cannot get anything more satisfying than that right now. Alright. To be able to have the master key in level 9 is gold. That's just it. I mean, he did have a decent amount of keys racked up, but at the same time, now you don't have to worry about it. All you got to worry about is your bomb count, and just got to maximize your ability to actually know the playing field. So when you're playing level 9, you know certain bomb fields and areas where you got to go, and you can maximize that. So when you see them bombing in certain areas, it is what it is. They're not going to waste their bombs on anything else. But to be able to have the any key, that is huge.
However, the bombs are being a little bit trolly now for Caracarn, but he is going to be able to backtrack down to any room with keys and just open them up like nobody's business.
Yeah, exactly. So that is definitely a huge find. And then he has a decent amount of bomb reserve as well. And if only he could maximize his, luck with actually controlling his bomb count. I forget the proper term for it, where you could control, like, your bomb drops and things like that. He could actually seal the deal.
Yeah, the big issue with that, though, of course, is trying to get up to a 10 count to get the forced bomb drop in level 9 is very difficult unless you run into a couple of rooms back to back with like 7 or 8 keys and then some fires or something. But speaking of bombs, easy enemies. Yep. Speaking of bombs, though, JLo just passed up some bombs here in 7, realizing he's going to have to take the stairs in order to get to the section that he's going to need with the ladder that he's so desperately looking for. Oh, shoot.
Ah, the shoot!
K-Mac in chat makes a really good point. I did forget the one option that you can do is basically the way the game increments the counter is every time it makes the sound of an enemy dying, that weird little badunk sound, it increments the counter by 1. So in theory, he can go back to that old man room and poke the old man 9 times with the sword, and then bomb the 10th enemy that's going to drop something, and he can get bombs that way.
He can. But at the same time, he has the decent amount of bomb count, so I don't think he had to actually resort to that. But he's in that area where he knows his limitations of everything. He's in a very good spot where he knows where he is. He doesn't know where JLo is at this point, but at the same time, I feel that he's confident in that he knows that he is ahead and he's in the proper spots.
Yeah, but this 9 is getting to a point where we might have one of those mythical Ganon one room south of Zelda things, and hey, Caracarn's stealing JLo's shtick there with a clock.
Yes, he is. I mean, we could revert back to what happened last night and the last race, where 2 blocks away from Zelda, and you're assuming you're 1 block away.
Hey, and Ganon here, real quick on Caracarn, not to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we found Zelda here or found Ganon in Zelda's room. Or not Ganon. Right. We found Ganon on Caracarn's side. That's the word I'm looking for. Blah.
There you go. Well, we're definitely getting close to the end, folks. This is what it's all coming down to.
Northwest
execution. Understanding your surroundings and the map of where it lies.
Yep. So now the big thing that we are looking for is, because Ganon has been killed, now the room that's going to contain Zelda is going to contain exactly 1 shutter door, and that shutter door is going to automatically open when we enter the room, even if there are enemies in it. That's how we know we find Zelda.
Yep, and that will be it.
That's really quick. That's the one thing about finding Zelda is we just go look, see what we can find. The other thing that we know, of course, is that you cannot bomb your way into Zelda's room, so any bombable walls will be, moot points.
Magic staircase.
Yep, so at this point, Carnacan knows that he's in a very good position, and he doesn't have the compass, so he doesn't actually know where Zelda is, so he's guessing, he's estimating where she might be, but he knows he's damn well close.
Yep, J-Lo now has finally found the ladder in level 7, so he's now going to go back to level 4 at first.
So
and he's going to find the red candle in here.
Screwed if I didn't have a magic key.
Yeah, take a look at all these locked doors he's had to go through to find Zelda. That magic key find was gigantic for Caracarn.
Huge, huge. So in this situation, yes, he's looking in a very good position compared to J-Lo. But again, you have to say that you never know what happens. Level 9 is the equalizer. I mean, he is clearly ahead, but you could find yourself in that situation where you're in some type of loop. You have no idea where Zelda is, especially if you don't have the compass. The compass is crucial in level 9.
Yeah, this is getting the real feel here of a magical staircase situation in level 9, because based on Caracarn's map, there's only about 4 or 5 locations she can left to be, and we haven't found a path there that we can actively bomb through, so it's looking like we might have one of those magic staircase situations.
I'm going to have to say this is definitely one of the trolliest seeds that I have witnessed in I can't say in a long time because I've witnessed a lot of seeds, but it's definitely one of the trolliest in this tournament tonight.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And considering the quality of player we have here, that we're at an hour and a half in, and you know, Caracarn is still wandering his way through 9.
No.
Yeah, I feel like he should have been able to have done this within an hour 15.
Okay,
seems to be his his sweet spot. You know, this is already going way past that time. Okay, we got J-Lo finding actually the ladder in this particular segment right now. So that's gonna. I don't know how much that's gonna affect everything because they're so far ahead in the situation. But like I said, level 9 is always the equalizer. This could really set apart a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a magic staircase now.
Yeah, basically now, because Caracarn has a map up that he's using to track here in level 9. Now, there are 3 rooms left in the northwest of the skull that he hasn't checked, because he did get the hint saying Zelda was in the northwest of Skull. So, this is more and more looking like a magic staircase situation.
Yeah, he's enclosing on it very quickly. I don't want to take anything away from J-Lo, but it just seems kind of slim at this point. But then again, like I don't always want to just assume things because you never know. But at this point, it's really looking good for Caracarn to actually seal the deal, and I think it's coming very close to that point in time.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds, though, where it doesn't look like there's more than... I mean, there is a couple of paths to Ganon that we've seen, but it doesn't look like this is going to be one of those 9s where you're going to find more than one path to Zelda. So even if J-Lo gets into 9 now, which he's on his way to grab silver arrows and go to 9, assuming he actually knows where 9 is on the raft spot.
Yep.
Then
it's a well-fought fight. It is. And you got to give it up to everyone.
Yep. No, I got a little excited for a second. I saw a shutter door automatically open.
I heard it in your voice.
But nope, that turns out just because there was no enemies in the room, and we have found the book, and at this point, there is no absolute way that Caracarn is taking that book. He just wants to find Zelda and get the heck on out of Hyrule.
Get the hell out of there! That's what you gotta do.
Come on.
That's exactly what you gotta do. When you're this far into the tournament, and these ladders, I mean, you really gotta pick your battles and everything. Like he's on he already knows where he has to go. He's already accomplished everything. He is going for the gold, and he's gonna get there soon enough. I mean, but then again, like, I hate to say it, but you never know, because we've seen this happen how many times. It's been so close, way too close. You never know, but this is the excitement of the whole thing. This is what sets you apart from the other people, right? So you're in this situation. What are you gonna do? You just got to keep progressing. That's it.
I do want to point out real quick that was the absolute final staircase that Caracarn could have found in level 9 to reach Zelda. So he is going to reach Zelda at basically as J-Lo is entering.
There we go.
Be a win for Caracarn with a time on his timer of 1:34:36.5. But that seed was just, ugh.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it any
Okay,
better.
apparently
I mean,
was...
It was an awesome seed at the
Just
same
under
time.
nine.
If you got to think about it, like everything happened so perfectly, but
I
it
didn't
happened
know that.
so wrong at the same time. You know what I mean? Like things lined up for both of the players,
Oh
and
my.
they had such good runs. I really thought J-Lo had like a
What?
really good shot of going
How
through
was
the
that?
whole thing. You know, he had all the timers going and the clocks locked down, and that really saved them a lot of time. You know, but you just never know once you get into level 9. If you don't have all the key items, you never know. So,
Yeah, speaking of that, the big find for Caracarn there was as he was searching on the staircase, happening to come across the one that gave him the magic key, because we saw the path that he took. Without the magic key, there was absolutely no way he was going to be able to get through there.
yeah, no, he lucked out completely. Like, he had the eye of the tiger. There he goes. He went into the whole situation not knowing if he assumed possibly. I mean, you had a 50% chance of assuming that the master key is going to be in 9. Oh, welcome to the chat.
Hello.
So,
Well, wow, what a race! What a race!
So, how frustrating was going into 9 with that key count that you had initially?
Well, 4, I was kind of concerned, but it wasn't like I was going in with no keys. But
I mean,
finding that magic key was so fortunate because I really needed it. I mean, I went through. I lost count how many key doors I went through on the way to Zelda.
I think the answer is all of them.
Yeah. I mean, when you went into there, knowing that you had like I think you had 4 or 6 keys around that about. When you went into there, did you feel somewhat confident that you could make it, assuming that you knew the master key was in there?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the magic key was in 9, and I mean, I was trying to just blow through as many rooms as possible. I was trying not to stop and kill a bunch of stuff, whenever possible. And I had red ring and magic sword and silver arrows, so.
Yeah, no, you were lined up pretty good. I mean, so when you went into level 9, you had kind of a little bit of doubt, but you felt confident enough to pursue, obviously, because you did do it and you came out on top, right?
Yeah, but I really had no idea because I had a horrible start to that run. It took me like 30 minutes to get the sword. I kept dying in the overworld many
we
times.
watched you. I mean, you skipped by the sword, and we were like, oh.
Well, I died because the
did.
Lionel was
The
guarding.
The Lionel's fucked you. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my fault for not respawning the Lionel that was guarding the entrance, but.
Well, who's to blame you at the same time? You didn't know. I mean, when you're in that predicament, you don't know where you're gonna go. But you eventually made your way back there, and you got the sword. But I mean, how does that feel to know that you were so close? And it set you back a little bit of time, even though you came on top, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you did that just a few minutes sooner.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, once I found that the ladder was buried deep in 7. Well, I guess it wasn't that deep. It was deep for me since I full cleared it, but it still wasn't. It still wasn't easy to find the ladder. So once I knew that, I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't find it either. So. But if he had, then this would have been a really different story, because.
Yeah, no.
The interesting thing about that,
it took a while to find it, but I mean, you had that going for you.
Interesting thing about that, you bring that up. He actually, when he found the Triforce in 7, he actually went back in and looked around for the item a little bit, but gave up about halfway through. So he had the potential of finding it there really early.
Yeah. But that's level 7 for you. I mean, if you don't find the item quickly, then
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to get at. So, like, from your pro tips, I mean, you clearly came out on top of everything, and you're going to give some type of advice to other people that are stuck in level 7 and they're questioning what should they do, because you always have that idea of, oh, should I explore it more, or should I just get the hell out and progress with the seed? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
well, usually, unless I find 7 late, and it's becoming increasingly likely that the ladder's in 7, then I usually, if I find a quick Triforce, I'll usually like check a few rooms around the Triforce first. But I usually don't dig for the item in 7 if it's early. So,
going to go a little bit off the rails here with this question, just ever so slightly. At least when I first found out who you were, it was because of running, turn-based RPGs in the Final Fantasy series. Is there skills from running the turn-based RPGs that can be translated into running an action RPG such as Zelda?
I love that question. Yes, go ahead, guys.
not really. No, it's completely different. Completely different mindset.
Okay.
Really.
Let me rephrase that. Where do you see yourself positioned better? Do you like more the Final Fantasy or the Zelda aspect? I mean, I know you grew up in our time and you have like the love of both of them, but where do you see yourself fit better? Like if you had the option to choose.
I don't really know. I mean, I like both of them. I can't really say which one I like better.
And there he goes. He's already said it all.
Going to something line here. Okay, then in that case, one final question on this topic, at least from me. When you've been playing a bunch of turn-based RPGs and then go turn around into something like a Zelda randomizer race, how difficult is it to translate from one to the other?
Well, especially randomized. I mean, it's completely. I mean, even comparing it to any game, this is a lot different because since it's a blind race. I mean, most other speedruns, you know the game in and out, and you know exactly where to go and what to do. This is a lot about improvising and guessing a lot.
Yeah, I think like the main point of what we want to try to understand is that from your logic, all right, so you have the Final Fantasy and you have the Zelda. I mean, they're two completely different games, right?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to compare the two. But like from a satisfactory kind of a thing, where do you see yourself like getting the most reward from either of the games? So like, okay, you play Final Fantasy and you know their system and you know Zelda's system, right? Where do you think that you feel that yourself fits the best kind? It's very hard. I don't even know how to say that, but you know what I'm getting at? It's like
which is more rewarding? Is that what the question is?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So where do you feel that you feel the most? That seems so redundant, but yeah, where do you feel that you feel like the most? Like, I can't even. I have no idea. There
Okay,
you go. I'll leave it at that.
Allow me.
All right, go finish.
After finishing both either Zelda or a Final Fantasy or a turn-based RPG, finishing which of those gives a more fulfilling feeling?
That is a tough question, actually.
It is. So, I mean, you gotta really dig down and feel it. I mean, there's you're in two different aspects of everything. I mean, they're both in different genres. We gotta hand it to that. And thanks, Fred. Shouts out. Like, what he made an awesome program to make this possible. And imagine if you had this type of situation with any of the Final Fantasy games where they mixed up. It's so like beyond logic to even comprehend the kind of stuff that happens with Zelda into a Final Fantasy game. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really compare the two. But I mean, just deep down, like, where's your like? There's no wrong answer. I mean, like, I love Final Fantasy and I love Zelda, and it's a torn between the two situation for me, at least, that I could never even pick. So like, the question that we're asking you just seems absurd as well.
Yeah, I can't pick. I mean, I never pick favorites. And even within one series, like, people always ask, "What's your favorite Final Fantasy?" I never answer the question because
you can never.
I don't have a favorite.
There's no answer.
The correct
there we go. There we go, everyone. There's no answer.
One is currently being played.
Exactly.
Yes, the one that is, or sometimes it's the one that's not being played, depending on the situation.
Because that one's not giving you a hard time. Fair enough.
Yeah, like this. Okay, so yeah, I mean, back to this seed specifically. I mean, this. I don't know whether this one. I don't know if this is worse than my first match in the tournament, where the silver arrows were buried in 7. Behind a magic staircase, because that one was pretty bad. Also,
all right. So, like, I guess for my next question is from where you're gonna go from here. Okay, so now you learned a lot of stuff, and you're progressing through the ranks, right? Yeah, you're in the the lower bracket. I have a lot of faith in you. I've been watching you for a lot of months. Like, a lot of people don't know me and things like that, but I have a lot of faith in you because you have, like, that concrete ability to understand the underlying abilities of these games. So, like, when you have the approach to these things, you're looking at a different perspective than a lot of other people. I mean, like, how do you feel that you're going to progress in the tournament? Like, there's a possibility that, you could come out on top. I mean, what do you feel like at right now, on top of being the high of winning tonight? Where do you think that you're going to go from here?
Well, I'm assuming Unos won, right?
That would be correct.
So I'm playing Unos next. So yeah,
I'm
gonna need to play really well. Like, I need to not have a bunch of stupid deaths that cost a bunch of time. I mean, I'm gonna need to get lucky.
There was a ton of them in this tonight's race. The death counter was absurd, like, especially in the beginning. I mean, you can't take that away from anything as well, because that comes with the territory. Like, you have that built up, but you executed everything else extremely well. I couldn't find a lot of flaws in your gameplay tonight. Like, and I loved every minute of watching it. Like, you executed everything to the T. You know what I mean? So, like,
yeah,
a lot of props
I made some bad decisions. Like, I when I up aid in 5 and had to clear that blue Darknet room again, I should have just walked back to the Triforce instead. But yeah, I mean, I guess except for the early game, yeah, I guess I played pretty well. But against Unos, I'm gonna need to not. I'm gonna need to play smart.
Okay. All right, well, you got to take that for what it's worth. You know what you got to do. Next time, I hope you give us an awesome show, exactly what you gave us tonight. I mean, we couldn't have asked for anything more or less. Like, everything that happened tonight was just all over the place, and it was just lovely. Like, I think that's all I asked for, like, in these tournaments. It's just to have, like, some absurd type of thing that no one anticipates, because that's what makes it fun to watch, right? You know what I mean? So you have everything going down, and things are turning left and right, and you're not even anticipating it, and, like, it's just what it is. And you gotta have the love for the game. I think that's the biggest thing. You have the love for the game, and the passion for it, and it's just what it is. So I congratulate you on tonight's winning. I mean, you deserve it completely.
Thank you.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, TGE, do you have anything else to say?
Not really interview, but I do want to point out that J-Lo is getting himself all sorts of turned around in 9, probably coming to the realization himself that it's going to end up being, as we saw, a magical staircase situation. The problem is going to be, of course, finding the proper staircase, which, as we know in CaracarnVi's case, was the last possible staircase he could have found in the level.
Yeah, the last 2 possible ones, because one one of them led to the other one.
Yeah, nothing like having a double magical staircase to get where you need to go and have found everything else you need to find in the level.
Yeah, that 9 was almost as I was doing a practice run right before this race, and I didn't even finish it because Zelda was behind the last magic staircase. Also, like I cleared all but 2 rooms in level 9 in that scene.
Yeah, I watched
And
that
this
before
was
we
just
went live.
as this one is just as bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
so,
you know what? This the whole thing is. I'm sorry. You came out on top. You did what you had to do. There's no doubting of your skills. Yes. Anytime anyone comes into this, no one knows anything, and you came out on top, and that's all you could say. I mean, like, there's no one can else say anything else. This was a run, and you completed it. There you go. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like, there's only a few words that you could actually associate with what you just did, and it's awesome. I love the whole scene. This thing is just amazing for everyone. You have to put a lot of time and devotion into it, and you have to love exactly what we're doing here. So I congratulate you on everything that you have accomplished, and we're gonna take it to the next level, and that's where we're gonna go from here.
J-Lo now back into level 9, opting to up A and get himself back to the beginning, hoping that a fresh start here is not going to get him all turned around. Now, the only problem with this, of course, is he's already explored a lot of the rooms that he needs to right here at the front of the level. So he's going to have a hard time figuring out which staircases he has left to find, and, of course, which rooms are going to take him to where he needs to go.
Hey, Caracarn, I just want to point out the right answer to the question of which is more satisfying, the Final Fantasy or the Zelda. It's clearly if you finish the Dragon Warrior run. Here's...
So again, J-Lo has given himself all kinds of turned around here in 9. There's only about 12 rooms or so he has left to explore here on his map. The problem is he can't get to any of the rooms he needs to get to because, again, of the magical staircase situation now. I don't exactly remember where the magic staircase to get us to the area we need to go. But if you take a look at his map, you see basically right underneath the number 9 there, you see a room. That is the section we need to get to the staircase we need to find. And the staircase that we're going to need to find to get there, of course, is somewhere else. I don't remember where it is, but that is what we are looking to get to.
It's northeast of Ganon's room. Did he kill Ganon already, by the way?
He has killed Ganon, yes.
Okay, yeah. It's the staircase. Like, there's 4 staircases, like, right around Ganon. Like, north of Ganon was the staircase that led to Nowhere Special. So was...
Okay, yeah,
both above and below Ganon led to the far right side, and then and then you got the book to the right of him, and then northeast of him is the staircase.
Right. Yeah. The interesting thing is we've got his map pulled up, and that location you're talking about, he's got an X in the room. So he mislabeled the staircase room that he's going to need.
Oh, yeah. I've done that before. I hate it when I mislabel my map. That's...
Yeah, that's the point where we're at here, because that room is basically, if you take a look at the map, Ganon, underneath the column that the E is under, Ganon is right there in that E column, second one from the bottom. So the northeast is going to be in that V column, 2 rooms directly to the south of the I. That is the room we are looking for to start with. And that is going to get us on the train to Zelda. So we're in the right location here, and anyway, at least the right starting location. Going south is the correct call here. Can we go south again? Yes, we can. So if he takes the staircase, he's going to find it in the room directly below where he is right now, or I may be a little ahead depending on where the video is, because we've had a little bit of hiccups here. That's going to get him to exactly the point he needs to go.
He needs to go down twice here.
He's opting to go through the door here, and I think he now just remembered that the reverse C has a staircase in it. So yeah, he's going to come back here and kill the Zols, and now we might have something here, because this is the room he needs to take. So yeah, now he's realizing that he marked this room incorrectly. So this is going to be this is going to take him on the path he needs.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's definitely close to the end here. I apologize for not being a part of it. Had to take a step away for a second.
No, not a problem. So now we have finally found the proper location where we're going to go here. So this staircase is going to get him into the area he's going to need. He's obviously going to check, at least I would be checking the open door first, as opposed to... Oh, wow. He's bomb blocked from Zelda. He has no bombs.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, wow. I just realized that.
I forgot you needed a bomb there.
Wow. He's going to have to get lucky. Oh, the Wizrobe with the double kill, giving him the bombs he's going to need. That's huge. Oh, wow. Huge. That's gigantic. The bomb drop from the Wizrobes. Wow.
I mean, if you're ended up in this situation and you need to have that happen to you, then yes, of course. You know, unfortunately, it happened a little too late in the whole series of everything, but perfect run. I think he needs to be congratulated completely through. I think his run was flawless. Like, yeah, I don't think that he had any hiccups in anything else. I mean, he battled through what he was dealt. You know what I mean? Like, he trooped through everything, and if he had like at least, you know, a 1 to 2 minute differential in his time, possibly he could have been the winner of this whole thing. But you know, this is what it is.
Oh, not to interrupt real quick, but in the spiral staircase room on his way to Zelda, getting sniped by a Wizrobe, that is the absolute worst possible thing he could find there. And he does now know where Zelda's location is, so the big thing that he is going to have to do here is get back to Ganon fairly quickly and survive that spiral staircase full of Wizrobes. Stopping him out there, if you take a look at his map, J-Lo trying to get his orientation down for the quickest path to get to the room that he needs to get to. And this path he's going, this seems like the path, this is the path he took to get there initially the first time. So this is going to be a nice path, going to put him 2 rooms above where he needs to go to start with. Excellent dodging there, going up to dodge the Wizrobes. That was a very, very good call there, because otherwise they would have given him a nice old hug there. Nobody wants to be hugged by a Wizrobe.
Yeah, that was a very Wizrobe clear. I'm a little bit behind you guys, so I'm trying to take it all in as well.
Yeah, so not a problem. So again, the big thing is going to be, at this point, getting to the staircase is going to be fairly easy. Well, I say fairly easy because the room is already clear, because that room is not going to respawn because of the bubble. The hard part here, of course, is going to be getting through this spiral staircase room with all of the whiz robes. Getting a bit of a trolley spawn there from that blue whiz robe. Just run, Jayla. Don't even worry about killing him. Just run, buddy. Getting through the second whiz robe, killing the orange one, and going to make it through, not a problem. So now he is just one room away, going to have to avoid some other whiz robes. Getting a trolley spawn there as the whiz robe spawns on top of him, but he's going to make it to Ganon here in this final room because, of course, because he was playing as a gorilla, he had to kill Princess Zelda and resurrect Ganon. This is the return of Ganon. So that is going to be the end of this race here tonight. Hopefully we can get JLo in here for a quick little post-race interview. We will see how that is going to be.
We need to ask him a bunch of questions.
But before we do that, I do want to remind everybody that we have 2 more randomizer races coming at you tomorrow evening. The first of which is going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be over on Jam Eviler's channel. And that is going to be Paratroopa 1 versus Zeb Gedney. And the second race is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. And that is going to be Zardia versus Digshake. The Paratroopa Zeb Gedney match, that is a match in the winner's bracket. Whereas the Zardia Digshake match is a match in the bonus bracket. The winner of the Zeb Gedney Paratroopa match is going to be going on to face the number 10 seed Amazing Ampharos. Whereas the Digshake Zardia match, the winner of that is going to go on to play When Chuck Attacks.
I'm not sure if JLo is planning on joining us here. I don't see him in Discord yet. Oh, he is coming.
Yeah, it was an excellent run from top to bottom. It was everything that you could anticipate in a run. I mean, like, if you were in this situation, this is exactly kind of the route that you would want to be in. I mean, yeah, there were some trolley parts between the two. I mean, you know, what are you going to do about the whole thing? But at the bottom of the line, everything came together and it made sense. And that's just what this whole thing is about. So if you guys enjoyed the randomizer race, please be a part of it. It's free to everyone. You could be a part of it. And we're going to be doing another tournament in a month or two. So keep an eye out for that. Follow us. And indulge yourself in everything. The Zelda randomizer races are just the tip of the iceberg. So if you're interested in everything like this, please come on board, commentate, question everything. We're always open to everything
we have
about
JLo in the channel here.
We love you guys, and I'm Digital. We have TGE.
And we do have a JLo in here for a post-race interview. So, JLo, first question first. That Trolley 9, how are you feeling after that one?
That 9 was evil.
Oh, dude.
Although it's partly my fault. The stair you had to take, I originally marked as an empty room, not a stair.
Yeah, I saw that on your map. I was looking there. I'm like, wait, what room does he have to take? Then we got pointed out. I'm like, wait, I'm looking at your map. I'm like, wait a second, he's got that marked off wrong.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like that for a decent amount of the race. So we were questioning you the whole way, but we were always like deep rooting for you. Like we're like, he's gonna do it. Like, and you know, dude, you came close. Like you can't doubt yourself whatsoever. Like you hanged in there tremendously. It was an amazing race. Whatever you look at it from any perspective, it was awesome. So I mean, how do you feel about how you performed tonight?
Considering all the trouble that Steed threw at me.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean,
That's not a bad time.
No, dude, it's not. All right, look, my best seed was like 2 hours, and I'm nowhere near anywhere of you guys. So to have you guys finish under 2 hours, awesome. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't say much about anything, but you know, Yeah, dude, you were so. I want to swear so bad right now. Like, you were so damn close, dude. So close. And everything was, like, lining up perfect. We were all rooting, and it was so intense. I gotta blame effing Fred. That's all I gotta say. Where the hell is Fred tonight? I mean, I saw that he was hosting some other stuff. We got to get him in this channel, and we got to interrogate this guy, because you know what I mean. TGE, like, we need to get him in here and like probe that son of a bee.
All right, I think it's about time to wrap this up
Right,
pretty quick here.
Another question that I had, JLo, is immediately after finding the Triforce in level 7, you opted to go back in and dig around for a little while. What was your rationale behind going back in initially and digging around?
At that point, based on the other things I'd seen, I had an idea that might turn out to be something important in there.
Turns out, of course, it was the latter.
I just missed that first time. I missed that key bomb door to get into the room the ladder was in.
In the future, how do you think that you could compensate from learning from that, like, downfall? I mean, like, what could you, like, take away from this and, like, help other people, like, that were in your situation, like, for your mentality and everything? What would you tell them to do to kind of help them? I mean, and also help yourself. Like, it was so close. Like, what would you do in that situation again?
That is a good question. I'm not sure what I could do differently in that situation. Part of my problem going in is
Go ahead.
well, I had fallen asleep watching the other race, so I was like, I went into this thing
It's getting to that point of the night where everything is just absurd, and it's just, yeah, everything needs to be cut off. All right. Well, well, if you could answer this, I hope. I don't know if you, TGE, if you have any other questions for him, but I mean, I have questions. You have questions. I think we all have questions. But I'll turn it over to you, TGE.
No, I mean, I've really got nothing else. I mean, overall, just this seed in general was just extremely trolly on all accounts. Lots of early deaths, lots of Lionels blocking everything. So the only other question I do have now is, because, of course, this was a bonus bracket match. This is your second loss of the tournament, JLo. So now that you've had a chance to play through this, what about this randomized tournament did you like, and is there anything that you would change perhaps the next time we do a tournament?
Not really anything I can think of offhand. I didn't have time to do practice runs earlier today like I wanted.
No, that's fine. Yeah, you don't have to answer the question. You don't have an answer. That's perfectly understandable. But I believe that is it for all the questions that I have. So real quick, either Caracarn or JLo, is there anything else you guys would like to say before we sign off here tonight?
No, I don't have anything.
Nothing much that I can think of. Good luck in the next round.
Yeah, I'll need it.
You're going to need it because I believe you're playing Unos.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Just considering the state of that when I tuned out, I know he won.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to face him in the winners bracket, and then when I lost to Paratrooper, I was like, oh well, at least I don't have to face Unos anymore. Well, look how that turned out.
And then he had that surprise loss because of
Yeah.
key trolling last weekend.